welcome back to Social Butterfly. This is the birthday episode. When this comes out, it'll be the day before my birthday. Very exciting stuff. That's going to be the theme of today's episode. This is also going to be the last episode of season 1 of Social Butterfly, which is crazy. We've been doing this for just about a full year. That's wild. And how exciting. How fun that we've made it a whole year. If you are watching this, you'll see that I've got a little guest next to me. Remy jumped up here before I could even sit down, so I am sitting in her space right now. So for this episode, like I said, my birthday is this week. I am turning 30, which, gosh, that is a big one, right? 30's big. And I will say, when I turned 26, I did have a little bit of a breakdown crisis, whatever you want to call it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 26. These are my late 20s. Like, I'm almost 30, whatever. And as I've gone through my 20s now, these last couple years, especially when I hear a lot of people talking about how much they love their 30s, I'm now at a place when I turn 30 in just over 24 hours. I'm in a place where I'm so ready for 30. I've heard that it's great. I'm excited to step into that next decade. 20 didn't seem that significant. I feel like just because it's sandwiched between 18 and 21, two big significant birthdays. So 20 is just kind of meh. But 30 feels big. 30 feels like a big one. So that's going to be the main theme of today. But first, before we get into any of that, let me pull up my top 5. Of course, I thought about skipping this because I'm like, this is going to be a whole episode of lists, but I've got some good ones right now. So we're going to go for it. And it's my birthday podcast, so I get to do what I want, as if I don't do that any other time. Anyway, top 5. Right now, obviously, the Eras Tour docuseries. There are 4 episodes out right now. By tomorrow, all 6 will be out. I'm really loving it. It's not entirely what I expected. Some of it is, some of it isn't. I kind of expected it to be throughout the whole tour, and most of it is from the very last leg, which it was kind of cool when they're showing shots of Indianapolis. It wasn't my night. It was the night before I went, and she's talking about putting the surprise songs together, and she played Maroon, and we don't have to talk about it. It's fine. But I just love a behind the scenes though. And I love all the different storylines of her dancers and her singers and her band and her stylist and, all the people who are working on things behind the scenes. I really like those storylines that they've been telling. Yeah. So overall, it's really fun. I've cried a few times already and I've just really been liking it. So yeah, that is number 1 on the top 5 list. Number 2 is Wingstop, specifically the hot honey rub on boneless wings and the fries at Wingstop. Man, I don't know what it is about Wingstop, but it has really just been hitting lately. I have always been a Buffalo Wild Wings girl. That has been my jam forever. But Wingstop lately, I get the boneless wings, like I said, I get the hot honey. You can get seasoning on your fries too. My coworker told me that, changed my life. So I get the hot honey seasoning on my fries too. But then they also have, I think it's just a limited time flavor, but it's called Fiesta Lime, and it's a spicy lime sauce. That's really great too. But the hot honey, oh man, this is not a good habit, but I'm going to admit to it anyway. I think I have it once a month, which is better than once a week, right? There are worse things I could be doing. But holy cow, it's so good. Yeah, it's really been hitting lately. Number 3, I don't know if you can tell right now, I'm close to wash day with my hair. And when I get closer to wash day, it almost gets darker. I don't know. But I just got my hair done not too long ago. We're going even blonder. So that's number 3 on my list, going blonder. I am all for it. I'm thrilled about it. I missed Blonde Bry, and I just feel like it's kismet, poetic, however you want to say it, that we're going into the 30th year of life, bringing back the blonde. I love it. Number 4 is comfort sets. This one that I'm wearing, it's from the brand Comfort, if you don't know. But I love like a sweat set, a pajama set, anything I can be comfy cozy in, I'm sold. And so this one, this is the newest one that I got. It's the Cloud loungewear, like long sleeve shirt and pants in this like really pretty plum color. Like I said, I just got it. It's my newest set that I had from them. I think I have like 4 now, including my pajamas. And it's great. I love them so much. I think they're so comfortable. They're fantastic material, especially like for the price. Like there are other sweat set companies who you're paying $100 for one sweatshirt, and with Comfort, any of their sets together are always less than 100, and they're phenomenal quality. And yeah, if you're super intrigued by this and you're thinking, Bri, I want to try out Comfort, well, you are in luck because I have a discount link and I'll put it in the description of this episode. But it gets you 15% off. Super exciting. All that aside, I'm really into these sets right now. Like I've been living in them. I will change into them right when I get home from work because like I have to be comfy immediately. And they've just been wonderful. So that's number 4 on my list. And then number 5, and I've got it sitting right here next to me, the Cranberry Fizz Poppy. Not sponsored. I don't have a discount link for this. I just really love this flavor. I think it's their best one. Although I did hear that they've just come out with a Shirley Temple flavor. That's intriguing to me. That has piqued my interest. So I will be trying that. I'll probably make a TikTok of me trying it. But the Cranberry Fizz, it's so good. Cheers. Okay, let me pull up my notes app. I made a list so that I would kind of stay on track for this next part, but I wanted to go through, and this is not a novel concept. I've seen people do it on podcasts, on TikToks, but I wanted to go through my 30 things that I've learned before turning 30. Some of them are going to be cliche, for sure. I'm just warning you of that right now. Be prepared. But some of them, I feel like they're lessons that if you are older, around my age now, you're like, duh. But I feel like for a lot of us, our 20s were like tumultuous, man. Like they were crazy. I went through a lot. I mean, you go through so many life changes in your 20s. I don't think we step back and like think about that. But we go through so many life changes in our 20s, whether it's moving out of your childhood home for the first time, graduating from college, entering the real like workforce for the first time, dating, perhaps getting engaged or getting married, maybe even beyond that, having kids, getting your first pet, moving to a different city, moving somewhere where you've never lived before. Just all these changes, and they're happening in this like short time span of our lives, and it's really crazy if you take a step back and think about it. So I'm going to go through this list. Some of them I'm going to elaborate on, some of them I'm not, just for like time's sake. But hopefully someone can take something away from this. Maybe it'll give you something to think about, or at least like reminisce on, or like, oh, I remember when I learned that lesson. Whatever you take from it, that's for you. But here we go. All right, let's get into this list. Number 1 is super simple. Just be kind. Be a nice person. It's going to go so far. Those karma points will rack up. Just be nice to people. That's it. You'd think it's that simple. For some people it's not, but make it that simple. Number 2, give others grace. Kind of goes along with being kind, but this is more so like patience, forgiveness. Give other people grace. We're all figuring it out. And don't forget to give yourself grace as well. Don't be so hard on yourself. Remember, you're doing something for the first time too. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others. Give grace. Number 3, it's okay to change your mind. This one came, I feel like it started in college when I kind of thought I wanted to be a writer journalist, and then I pivoted to broadcast journalism. When I left my first job and completely switched careers, I had to change my mind. And it even just goes with like simple things too, but even just your opinion on things, when you learn new information, it's okay to change your mind. Just knowing that you're allowed to change your mind. You don't have to stick to one viewpoint or opinion your whole life. Also, how boring. Number 4, communicate. Communicate with everyone. People cannot read your mind. But this is something that I have to actively remind myself of like all the time, because I'll get upset with people, not actually upset, but like upset in my own mind with people for not doing things that I wanted them to do, or doing something the way I wanted them to do it when I did not communicate that with them. They didn't know. They can't read my mind. So communicate. Even if you have to over communicate, communicate. It's going to save you so much trouble in the long run. This goes for friendships, relationships, at work, anything. You have to talk to people and tell them what you're thinking, what you want. It's that simple. And then number 5, be okay with being misunderstood. If you've communicated, if you've spoke your truth, if you are being authentic and people still just aren't vibing with it, don't like it, are upset about it, you have to be okay with them just misunderstanding you, because sometimes people will purposefully misunderstand you. If they are perceiving things in bad faith, that's just how it's going to be. So you have to be okay with being a little misunderstood. This is also a really hard one. None of these are easy, and I don't want to say they're all things that I have mastered, but they are things that I have learned and that I am actively working on and putting into practice in my own life. Okay, this one is my favorite quote. I found it a couple years ago. It was my phone background for the longest time. I love it so much. Stop expecting you from other people. And this kind of goes back to what I said about communicating. People can't read your mind, but when you get upset about a situation not going a certain way, or you get upset about people not doing a certain thing, but you have to remember that not everyone is going to handle a situation the way that you would. And you have to be okay with that and be like, okay, they didn't handle this the way that I would, but they handled it the best way that they knew how. Give them some grace and move forward. Once I saw that quote, it really like kind of did a number for me, like I think about it a lot. So yeah, stop expecting you from other people. Number 7, being sensitive is a superpower. This is a 2-part one. So let's start with that part. Being sensitive is a superpower. Feeling, and I have a whole episode on this if you want to go back and watch, about how being an empath or empathetic, feeling deeply, having emotions is such a wonderful, beautiful thing. However, you can't expect others to cater to that. So you can be sensitive and deep feeling, but then you can't get upset if other people are not, or if other people don't operate within the confines of your sensitivity. Does that make sense? Like, you can be sensitive and you can have empathy for other people, but you are also sometimes, not all the time. All of this is incredibly nuanced and contextual too, so keep that in mind. But you also are in charge of what you react to and how you react to things, and you can't expect other people to tiptoe and cater around your sensitivity. Like, I'm a very sensitive person, and I know that, but I don't make it other people's problem. That's kind of the point I'm getting at here. Being sensitive is a wonderful thing. Being empathetic and caring towards others is a wonderful, beautiful thing. More people could stand to be more sensitive. But at the same time, you can't make the things you're sensitive about other people's problems unless someone's just being mean. And I've seen TikToks about this and stuff, and I just actually said it today, but it's like, okay, I might be sensitive, but you're mean, and that's worse. So again, take that with a grain of salt, but I hope that made sense of what I was trying to get at there. Number 8, respect yourself enough to walk away. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Relationships, friendships, jobs. Number 9, treat yourself the way you treat a friend. I am constantly having to remind myself of this because as someone who is a self-proclaimed good friend, I also have to remember that I need to treat myself with that same kindness too. Number 10, family is very important. I feel like in my 20s, I experienced the largest amounts of grief that I have experienced so far in my life, and it really gave me a new perspective about family and how important it is. That also leads me into number 11. Chosen family is just as important. And as someone who most of my life has also treated my friends like family as well. Hi, Remy. Have also treated my friends like family as well. That chosen family is also so important. Those are friendships that and relationships that you need to nurture just as much as you, not more than, but just as much as you nurture your actual familial relationships, especially if you're someone who has a smaller family. It'll kind of hit you like a brick when half of them are gone that, holy cow, there's not that many of us left, but look at this community I have surrounding me. Look at this chosen family I have around me. Number 12, learn when to say no. Again, as a people pleaser, working on that, but I have gotten a lot better on it. But then number 13, learn when to say yes. I feel like, especially, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this, and I wholeheartedly agree. I think we have strayed so far, and I'll get into this a little bit more in the next couple things, but we've strayed so far to like, you can say no, that we're almost missing out on saying yes. This past October, I went to, this is an extreme example, by the way. I went to 4 concerts and 2 weddings, 3 weddings. 2 of the weddings were in the same weekend. And was it exhausting? For sure. A little stressful not being home? Yeah. But did I have so much fun? Absolutely. And I don't regret any of those things that I went to. Like, saying yes is almost as important as saying no in the appropriate times. And you just have to trust yourself to know which is number 14. Trust yourself. Follow your gut because it's usually right. Just trust your intuition. Trust that you know what to do for yourself. Number 15 is inconvenience yourself. And that kind of goes back to, and I saw someone talking about this on TikTok one time, and oh my gosh, I think I reposted it even because I felt it so hard. I feel like sometimes we're protecting our peace almost too much. Now, if you're like burnt out and you know that if you go to this function or whatever and you're not going to be your best self, then for sure, stay home, recharge, say no, whatever. But I also think we have to remember that sometimes in order to nurture relationships in our lives, whether it's friendships, family, but I think this applies to friends a lot, sometimes you have to inconvenience yourself. And I'm going to go back to that example from October. 2 weddings in one weekend, we so easily could have said, and they were in different states and not the state that we live in. We easily could have said to either one of them, hey, we're not going to make it because we had this other one. So sorry. But we didn't want to do that because they were both great friends of ours and we wanted to be there for those moments. And so we just did it. It was a lot of driving, but it was also a super fun weekend. Don't regret it for a second. I'm always so honored to be invited to weddings just because it's like you wanted to include me in this huge day. Even just as a guest, like I think it's so great. But anyway, I digress about that. But just going back to that main point, just inconveniencing yourself is okay sometimes. It's okay to, have to travel back and forth to somewhere quickly or, to be a little stressed out because you only had like an hour to do your laundry one night that week. Sometimes that's just life, but you're seeing the people that you love. You're hopefully filling your cup. You're hopefully filling their cup and you're nurturing those relationships. And that will always be so much more important than a little convenience, in my opinion. Number 16, grieving is not linear and neither is healing. Like I said before, I experienced so much grief in my 20s. And I think one day I kind of want to do a full episode on grief, but it hits you at the weirdest times. And I always say to people, it doesn't get easier. You just get used to it. It doesn't pop up in your brain as much. You don't want to randomly start crying at work as much, but it still happens. And you still sometimes get into those valleys of, wow, this really sucks. These people aren't here anymore. I really wish that they were. But then you learn that you can be the parts of them that you loved. You can carry things on that carry their memory on. And none of it's linear. There's no timeline on it. Everyone goes at their own pace. It comes in waves. There's never really any time you're going to be fully over something, and that's okay, because that just means, what is that saying? Grief is love with nowhere to go. I believe that 1000%. 1000%. Which leads me into another good one. 17, go to therapy. I'm a firm believer that everyone needs therapy. I started going to therapy when I was 25. Could I have gone sooner? For sure. But I also think it was really well timed, because I finally felt ready to go and like really dig into these things, rather than just like making traumatic jokes about them all the time. I'm like, maybe I should like dive into this. And I ended up starting therapy like 2 months before my papa died. So it was really, really great divine timing. But I think everyone should go to therapy, even if it's once a month. Just having an unbiased source to word vomit to, and to help you sort through the thoughts and things going on, and just kind of assessing even just how you're feeling. Just taking a temperature with yourself. Like, how am I feeling? How am I doing? What is stressing me out? What is keeping me up at night? How can I work on that? I just think it's so great, and I think it would help people learn how to communicate better, be more in touch with their feelings, be more empathetic. Huge advocate. Go to therapy. On the topic of wellness, number 18, drink water and eat a vegetable, please. Please, I'm begging you. I don't know how I survived like my first 22 years of life barely drinking any water. I don't remember ever actually carrying around like a water bottle or cup until I met Alec. And even then, I didn't do it like consistently in college. And I really started doing it consistently like after I graduated. And I was also the pickiest eater. So hey, maybe this one is also some props to Alec. But I eat so many more vegetables now than I used to. I try new foods, and I drink a lot of water, and it's all very good for you, and we should all do it more. Okay, number 19. Keep your promises. Now, this isn't to say you have to say yes and promise to do everything with people, but just be intentional of what you're committing to and follow through with it. If you commit to do something for someone, if you say you're going to do it, if you're going to meet up with someone, if, you're going to take care of something for them, whatever, stick to it. And if you don't think you can stick to it, then don't make that promise. I've got caught up in that before, where I say yes to so many people and I want to do so much for other people, and then I end up dropping the ball, and then I feel like shit. And can other people trust me the next time? So keep your promises. And if you can't, don't make them. 20, you don't have to dim yourself for the right people. I definitely think that this is something you learn as you get older and your friendships solidify, and you kind of have those people in your life that, and who knows? I mean, I'm turning 30, but I've got a lot of life ahead of me. But right now I've got people in my life that I'm like, okay, I would very much like to keep you in my life. And it's because they bring out the best in you. And if you're around people who are making you feel like you need to be smaller, not as much yourself, those aren't the people you need to be around. Because the right people, you won't have to dim that light. You won't have to shrink yourself for them. They'll just let you be who you are, and they'll love you for it. So keep that in mind next time you're hanging out with your friends. Like, how does it make you feel? And is it good or bad? Because if it's not good, maybe it's time to reassess. Okay, 21. Spend time outside. I feel like I never really put weight to how good I feel when I'm just outside as I have in recent years. Especially, I feel like during COVID, I discovered a bike trail that was near the apartment I lived at the time. Every morning I was going on bike rides because I was getting outside, breathing in fresh air, just kind of getting out of my head. I made the balcony on my apartment like really cute, a rug, a hammock swing, some plants out there, a couple chairs and a table. Like I put lights up, really made it a vibe. Just being outside is so good for you. Even if I am feeling really, really anxious, and especially on the days that I wake up anxious, I'll go out onto my back patio, go stand in the grass in my bare feet just for a couple minutes, even if it's cold out. It's amazing how grounding it is. I mean, I think it's literally called grounding. Duh. It's great. And I've found I'm happiest traveling wise when I can be in nature, in the mountains. I'm more of a mountains than an ocean person, but even at the beach, by the ocean, in the ocean, I don't know, there's something about it just makes me feel so good. And I think just appreciating the outdoors and breathing in some fresh air, touching some grass, it can do us all some good. 22. I'm a big advocate for this one. Learn how to be alone. It is so good for you to purposefully be alone and do things alone, or even live alone if you need to, which a lot of us do. Not everybody, but a lot of us do. But just being alone, having alone time and being okay with it, not constantly having to be surrounded by other people, is so good for you, because there might come a time where you are alone. Not like in the whole world, but I'm just saying, there might be people that come and go, and you might find periods and pockets of your life where you are alone. And being able to be okay in that because you purposefully put yourself in those situations before is so, so important. Being able to keep your own company is so important, and I don't think we talk about it enough. 23, be okay with change. This is a big one that I am literally, as we speak, actively working through in therapy. I am not good with change. I'm not good with letting go of things. I like to ruminate. I like to grab on with both hands. But change, what is that saying? The only constant thing in life is change. It's inevitable. Everything's going to change. Your friendships, your relationships, your jobs, where you live, everything is going to change. And the more you're okay with that and accepting of that, the easier things are going to be for you. And this is literally me talking to me, okay? But it's true. 24. It doesn't always have to be someone's fault. I think a lot of times in situations where we might have a falling out with other people, or even just a regular argument, I think just as humans, we search for a place to place blame. It's easier. You can point a finger and say, this person did this, or this person did this. And then it's easier to justify your feelings or justify why that relationship or friendship or whatever didn't work out. But sometimes no one's at fault. Sometimes it's just change. Even just in a regular argument, I mean, it doesn't have to be like a life-altering ending thing, but even just in a regular argument, it doesn't always have to be someone's fault. And being able to be okay with that and move on from it, I feel like is such a powerful trait to have. Just understanding that blame doesn't really have to be placed in this situation, and we can move on from it. It's difficult, but it can be done. 25, keep an open mind and an open heart. One of the biggest things that happened in my 20s, and specifically at the start of my 20s, is my worldview. I keep saying my 20s, by the way. I learned a lot of these things throughout my life, but I feel like a lot of them were learned in my 20s, okay? Anyway, at the beginning of my 20s, my worldview changed significantly. It changed from the way I was raised, the way I grew up, things that I thought were true, things that I had to change the way I thought about them. But I really feel like it was easier for me to hear those things and accept those things and, decide, hey, I want to change the way I believe or the things I believe or the way I act or whatever, because I had an open mind and an open heart. And I really feel like if you have those things and you're willing to hear people out, even if it doesn't change your mind, like it doesn't mean you have to change your mind, but just being able to hear people out and being open to not thinking that the way you think is correct. It's just the way you think. And now, of course, there's nuance to that in all things, because some things are just matter of fact, like human rights are not arguable. But just having an open mind and an open heart and hearing people out in good faith, I think is such an important thing to have in your life. 27, learn to take a compliment. I remember, I can't remember how old I was when this happened, but I remember when I was younger, probably maybe middle school, and people would give me compliments and I'd be like, oh no. And it wasn't even because I wanted them to say it more. I was just like, no, like that's not true or that's. And I remember my friend's mom saying to me, Brianna, take the compliment. And that really stuck with me. And I was like, damn, okay. If someone's paying you a compliment, they're saying something nice about you, trust that they're being genuine. And if they're not, that's on them and they suck. But trust that they're being genuine and just say thank you and move on. You don't have to argue with them about it. You don't have to tell them why they're wrong, because then they're not going to want to give you another compliment. If you can't think of anything more to say, just say thank you and move on. Learn to take a compliment. Next one is read more books. I have always been a reader my whole life, my whole entire life. And I just think reading is, like, you can tell if someone is a reader, I feel like. And it's just such an important part. I know it's not for everyone, but I think that there are books and subjects out there for everyone. And I just think reading is so good for your mind. It, expands your vocabulary. You can, the like worlds and places you can go in stories is just so, it helps your imagination. Reading is great. So read more books. What am I on? That was 26, 27, 28. We're all just doing the best we can. And that's so true. Whether it's us, our parents, our friends, our siblings, our partners, the person who cut you off in traffic, everyone is just doing the best they can. And maybe this relates back to the giving grace thing, but just trust that everyone's doing their best. And sometimes you just have to be like, well, they're doing their best. And that's it. 29, do it because you want to. And you don't need another reason. If you want to do something and it's something that is really on your mind, on your heart, you really want to do it, you don't need any other reason to do it other than that you want to. And it can be as simple as, like with me, with starting a podcast or posting more on social media because I want to. What do I really want to gain out of it? I mean, I've already talked about it, community, but I want to build that community. That's it, just because I want to. But also, if you want to completely move somewhere else, do it just because you want to. Sometimes you don't need, now be responsible, okay? But sometimes you don't need another reason other than that. You have free will, and I think we need to be reminded of that sometimes. Just do it because you want to. And that brings me to number 30, which is younger you would be proud of you. And I really think that's true for all of us. I think it's true for me. I think younger me would be really proud of me. I think younger you would be really proud of you for whatever reason, whatever thing you've overcome, because I guarantee you, if you are a human being living on planet Earth, you have overcome something in your life. And younger you would be proud of you for that. it's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind as you move through. Maybe you're feeling stuck, feeling like you aren't accomplishing as much, like you're behind. Just know that younger you would be really proud of where you're at now. Okay, that's the 30 things. And that is also the end of this episode and the end of season 1 of Social Butterfly. I'm going to be a little sappy here for a second and just say thank you so much if you are someone who has been listening to these episodes. I've talked about it quite a few times, but this is really something that I have been wanting to do for so long, and I took a leap. And it's not a huge big thing, but just knowing that other people are listening to it, and if that is you, I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll be back with season 2. I'm excited. I've already got a few people that I know that I want to have on, and yeah, we'll be bringing season 2 back in February. But in the meantime, I did drop an episode a couple weeks ago. Low-key kind of forgot to put it on Instagram, so you can go check that out. Go check out any other episodes, catch up. Also, you can follow Social Butterfly on Instagram and TikTok, and we're on YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching it there, you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts. Again, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be able to bring in year 30 on this episode with all of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.